there's my camera.
Guard with the signal clear as day. Put my Glock away. I got a stronger weapon that never runs out of ammunition, so I'm ready for war.
Hey, what is up, guys? It is Mike, and this is the official start of the behind the scenes of my feature film, Paint the Eyes First. If you don't know anything about that, you can check out a little video I did here, but basically a rundown is I'm doing my first feature film ever. Script I wrote, I'll be directing, acting in. Really cocky dude right here. If you want more information, check out this link below. You don't need to donate, but that'd be cool. But there's a ton of information on that page, so that's what's going on. Anyways, if you visit that page, you'll notice that I'm trying to raise $25,000, which is quite a bit of money, and I was doing pretty well on GoFundMe. That slowed down, and I didn't promote it because there's huge fees pulled out of that website, so it's hard to make money that way. But I've been doing things on the side to get more money, and one of them has been selling watches. So I'm gonna run you guys through that today. Should be kind of cool. Maybe it's not. I think it's really cool, but yeah, so this is what I normally do. Basically what I do is I buy a watch for cheap. It might be dirty, broken, or just no one wanted to buy it. Then I'll clean it up, get it fixed, take nice pictures of it, put it back up online. It'll sell for more. I'll make money doing that. It keeps going up, and then I just take all that money and I dump it into the film so that way we can do stuff. Today we'll just talk about watches. I'll get into raising money probably in the next video about like what I do and stuff. But real quick, before we even go on, I'll be doing regular sit-down videos where I'm just like chit-chatting with you guys. I'll do those once a week, and then I'll do these once a week. So there'll be 2 videos a week, which I've never done before. So whoa, I'm in a spinning chair. So yeah, anyways, without further ado, where the heck am I? Well, I'm in a studio that my school is letting me use to photograph the watches, and it's called a makerspace. There's no lights on, but it's back there. Here we go. Oh God. Okay, so you may be wondering, what is this giant thing? Well, the purpose of this thing is I'm gonna take this camera and put it up here and then shine all of these lights down onto this surface where I will put the watches and show them to you guys and tell you a little bit about them and then go into further detail of what I'm doing. But first I gotta plug these in because there's a lot of different plugs. And also, I know people know that lights, when you turn them on, they get warm. These get hot, and I don't mean they get warm, they get really hot and I get super sweaty. Literally last time I did this, I was dripping sweat, and it's hot in here already, so I don't know what's gonna happen. Alright, here we go. Bam! Okay, now we're from this angle, and basically I need to explain something as I'm getting ready, and that's I kind of do 2 watch related jobs. One of them is I buy and sell watches. Another one of them is I photograph watches for someone else that buys and sells watches. So it would seem like we're in a competing business, but in reality, wow, look at all these spring bar tools. I mean, not tools, spring bars. But in reality, he sells like 100 watches at a time, and I sell like 2. So I photograph them for him. He helps me out. He even gives me advice on selling watches. He's a great guy. The way this worked out was I go on Reddit a lot, and there's this Reddit subreddit called r/watch exchange, which is like where you buy and sell watches on Reddit. And I saw this guy posting all these things, and I wanted to buy a watch from him, but I didn't have the money. So I was like, hey, I don't know if you need a photographer, but I will work for you for free if I can get that watch. And he was like, no, I don't want to do that because that doesn't seem right, but I actually am in need of a photographer, and I'll just pay you outright. So I get paid to photograph watches for him. And then it kind of worked out because it's a pretty good gig. I get a commission off the watches that he sells, and then I get to see all these cool watches. So anyways, I ordered all of these bands for the watches because the watches that I get usually come on these old bands that were very popular a long time ago, where they're like stretchy like this. But now people don't want to buy the watch for some reason if it has this, because it hinders the appearance. Although I think it would look cool in my watch, but
put my Glock away, I got a stronger weapon that never runs out of ammunition, so I'm ready for war. Okay.
Born ready, war ready, born ready, war ready, born ready, war ready.
Okay, boom, they are all strapped up. It is so hot, I can't even touch the table, it's burning. I went to touch my knife before to switch things, and it was burning hot, so I had to take it off directly from the lights. But it is so hot, I am so gross and sweaty. The real test is, you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but just like there's sweat on my phone. If I put it in my pocket the other way, I think you'll be able to see Oh, you can't really, but I'm so moist right now. I'm very moist. So I'm gonna shut the lights off, let this cool down, and then I'll talk about the watches. Okay, okay. Okay, we're back. Everything has cooled down a little bit, so let's go over this stuff. So basically, I get sent these watches, and my job is to band them up, make sure they're working correctly. This guy, I don't know if you noticed, it took me a super long time to put this on because these lugs right here were bent, so I had to unbend them. You know, just bending metal. This is a Tudor, which is actually a sub-brand of Rolex. So it's made with Rolex parts, but the inside is different. So that's pretty cool. And the rest of these are Omegas. Usually he's selling Omegas. There's actually a bunch more over here. There's a ton of watches, but these are all the new guys. They're all gold plated, which means that gold is pressed, or gold filled, which means that gold is pressed around them. They're not solid gold. So like, this is an Omega. If I had to take a wild guess, I would say that's from the 70s. This is from 60s. These are all vintage watches. This is 70s. 70s. Yeah, so these are the watches that I'll be photographing. There's two in my room that I forgot, but yes, these are them. And then this is my watch. So this is a, wow, look at how big that strap is. It's so stretched. This is a 14 karat gold Rolex 1005. So this is the watch that I wear every day. I don't want to sell it, but if I have to sell it for the film to get props or whatever, then I have to sell it. Really don't want to, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Anyways, now I'm gonna actually start photographing the watches, and for that, I'll be using my Canon 6D with a 28 to 70 millimeter f2.8 constant aperture L lens with a flash. I think it's a 430x something, but basically what I do is I'll turn my flash on, and there's usually studio lights over there. I'm using one of them now. But someone wrote, please don't move the setup here, blah, 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 blah. They just wrote a bunch of stuff basically saying don't use this, so I don't want to get on their bad side and use it. So what I'll do is, thankfully the walls are white, so if I take this flash and I bounce it off the wall by going like that, what it does is hits the wall and reflects. And since this is such a little light source, the shadows would usually be really hard and intense. But since I bounce it off the wall, what happens is it hits that wall and the entire wall gets covered with light. So that way when it comes back down in the reflection, it's not this tiny little source of light, it's this huge source of light. And the bigger the source of light and the closer it is to you, the softer it'll get. So that's the deal with that. Then what I'll do is I'll find a bunch of different textures that I want to photograph the watches on, just because it gives a lot of variety. And if you zoom in on close, it looks like you have this beautiful like landscape of cloth. So I do that a lot. I usually just use my clothes, like sweaters, jackets, shirts, pants, underwear, whatever. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to be using my leather jacket today, which I feel like is the coolest thing I own. I instantly look like I'm a bad boy, or I look like I'm in a musical. But yeah, I'm going to use my leather jacket today. I'll be using shirts and stuff like that. But real quick, I'm going to get a thumbnail. All right, thumbnail achieved. Time to get groovy.
Hammers busting like a soda in the freezer. Think I'm heading to a beast and need a breather from the tripping. Either that or my brains to the ceiling. Bite the bullet, trying to fight the feeling.
One thing that happens in this building is that at around 1:30, 1:45 in the morning, they just shut off all the lights outside. So now it's pitch black. So I'm gonna leave before the murderers come, because I assume this is where they come at night. So I'll be heading out, but the job's still not done. Night is still not over. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, so we are in my room. Sorry the lighting's kind of bad, and sorry I'm being quiet, but it's just about 2 in the morning, and I think my roommates are sleeping, so I don't want to be too rambunctious. But anyways, what I have to do now is get the backs of the watches off with this ball, and basically it's called a tension ball. And you push it like this. Back comes off, and you can see the guts of the watch. And I have to photograph this so people know it's clean and working on the inside and legitimate, not a fake copy. Okay, so I just finished taking the pictures. Now I need to import them into Lightroom so I can edit them all just a little bit, and then I will toss them up online for a theater, the guy that I work with taking pictures, to put on his account. So that's it. I'll do a little time lapse of editing, but besides that, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Softly, as if I play piano in the dark. Found a way to channel my anger, not to involve. The world's a stage and everybody got to play their part. Guard with the signal clear as day. Put my block away. I got a stronger weapon that never runs out of ammunition, so I'm ready for war.